Here we are, 7 weeks into the Russia's war on Ukraine. The global market remained roiled in volatility. While the intended and unintended consequences of the war, geopolitics, and other economic headwinds seem to be getting stronger by the day. Let's chat to how analysts and strategists are reading the tea leaves of some of the latest developments. My guest on this is live here at our Lagos studios, Uchenna Minis, Global Market Strategist and Managing Partner at Howard Minis Asset Management. Great to have you. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you, Bolton. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Where are we on the global markets and the Ukrainian war?
I mean, the plan was for this to be very quick and swift, but it's not looking that way. And we're looking at a possible extension of this conflict into maybe several months down the line if we're not careful. And we're seeing the global market react, should I say, based on this risk, on the back of this?
Well, when we were here, we had a conversation just about a week or two ago. I think we were all thinking that within the first few weeks, 1-2 weeks, this is going to be quick. President Putin will have a change of heart or whatever, or sanctions will get Moscow to blink, but Moscow is yet to blink.
Yeah.
So it looks like this is going to be a little bit there. One of the main consequences of this nice energy, oil and gas, and OPEC chief Bakindo told the EU officials, said, look, we don't have control over what is going on right now. This is the first time in years I could remember OPEC says we don't have control over what's going on. That's really true. What's your reading of that?
No, and if you really check underlyingly what he's actually referring to, you will realize that what he's trying to say is Russia is too big to neglect and to regard as some party that's insignificant. Literally from the meeting, one of the things he quoted, I'm trying to paraphrase now, is saying that we cannot replace Russia's output. And that is sacrosanct. It's not trying to be politically correct and whatnot. So, and that's what we're seeing with the oil prices, where investors or market participants are starting to realize that Russia is too big, and the output or its production output into the energy market space is so significant that you just can't disregard.
Did we ever think that we'll get to this point, Uchenna Minis? You know, it used to be Iran when we're talking about the Iran nuclear deal. Used to be the geopolitics. This used to be the issue on the table. Now Russia just came out of nowhere and stamped itself right at the middle of our economy and our marketplace.
Yeah, I'm not an expert when it comes to politics and geopolitics, really. But I mean, I think these are risks that can happen, and for us, we just need to plan and adjust to such kind of risk. And Putin has said that he has come from a place where he had no other option than to strike in the way he has struck, really. And where we are now is you have all these subliminal Western allies continue to say, well, Ukraine needs to stand the ground, and Russia is saying, until you get to do this, before we can try to let this slide down. And until we get the clarity of this settlement, I think we're in for a rough ride.
Interesting that we're in for a rough ride. Nigeria's fiscal balance sheet is in a very tough position right now. So Mr. President wants the budget benchmark raised by $11 to $73 per barrel because things are tough.
I mean, yes, and if you look at oil prices, yes, obviously we're trading very north of what we looked at from the budget from last time, where we were, I think, 65 or 68, and now we're looking at increasing by another 11, say 78 thereabout. But the fact is, what does this matter to us, really, as a country? How do we take advantage of higher oil pricing? We have significant leakage when it comes to production output from the oil theft, and now we don't have any functionary refinery, whereby we still need to refine this product and spend FX in terms of importing these petroleum products back into the system. So when you see all of these leakages, you realize that higher oil prices really, when it comes to it, net-wise, is quite detrimental to us as a country.
100. I'm just looking at it. This is 111, as we're speaking, and,
Yeah.
and the London Brent, which is keep climbing, and the West Texas is about 106.90 now, as the numbers keep moving and continues trading. So, globally speaking, is anyone comfortable with this? It looks like is OPEC comfortable with this? Who's comfortable?
No
with
one
this?
is. I think at this point, OPEC is starting to worry, and if you pay attention, you realize that there was some sort of consortium of petroleum reserve release, really.
Yes, from the IEA.
Yes, from the IEA, really. And you realize that has just had a short-term impact. The problem is there is still the elephant in the room, and it's Russia.
And Russia is part of OPEC.
Yeah, so until that is addressed, everything they are doing is just going to have that short-term effect, and that's what we're currently facing.
What else is on investors' mind? What's in your mind as a strategist right now?
Higher oil prices right now, it's not good. Right now, we're coming from it's just on the back of the pandemic. We're getting to.
Well, what about inflation?
So it's a double whammy effect, Boston, and that's what we're experiencing. The fact that you have inflationary pressure. I think James Damon, JP Morgan executive, was highlighting that now we are looking to fight the battle from two fronts. Now we need to deal with the inflationary pressure on the back of the pandemic, given extensive monetary policy easing, and now you're having to deal with Russia-Ukraine, which is literally going to disrupt the energy market space, and by ripple effect and by proxy also disrupt the supply chain, global supply chain market. And that is like you're fighting the war on two battlefronts, and that's what we are facing, really, Boston.
You have a sleepless night as a trader and a strategist?
I mean, I won't say sleepless is worrying, because then you now need to start looking at risk that you don't even understand how to quantify, really. You don't know what the next thing would be, and you just need to apply caution going into the market.
Very, very interesting. What's on your horizon in terms of assets? Do you stick with the safe havens?
Yeah, the safe haven, the pressure metals are the one looking to really overperform at this point. And again, people have just come back to that orthodox position saying, well, whatever the case, even if we get to a nuclear war, we know precious metals have their intrinsic value, and I can have my money.
Don't melt the metals.
Yeah, don't melt the metals.
Don't melt the metals. Thank you. We appreciate your coming on the show tonight. Which is global market strategist. Enjoy your holiday weekend.